coming out of COVID, in the volatile market that we've seen over the last, we could call it 5 years almost now, and even this most recent last couple months, what's the biggest impact to nonprofits, board of directors, in considering governance, management, fiduciary responsibilities? What are you seeing out there?
A lot of boards, a board of directors are scared of their fiduciary responsibility. Are they liable? And the organizations were in flux, and kind of looking at reviewing key policies and understanding what everyone's fiduciary responsibility was and acting appropriately and prudently. A great example is, and I'll ask before I say who this person is, does everyone know who Mackenzie Scott is? Yes. So with her grant making, over $6 billion to hundreds and hundreds of charities, we were charged with calling those charities and saying, hey, let's talk about this. Here's a windfall. You're a $2 million revenue, $1 million endowment nonprofit, and all of a sudden someone's giving you $3 million. Do you need some help? You need some advice? What are you going to do with it? And we weren't coming in with a sales pitch or saying, this is what you should do. We were having a conversation, and everybody was different. Everyone's like, well, we have to build a new building, so we're going to spend it on that. Well, we have everything we need. We're going to set up an endowment finally and use this long term. But across the board, what everyone eventually did was these funds, this $6 billion, was pretty much all unrestricted. And what everyone did almost to a T was self-imposed restrictions on those. So you know what, we want to act responsibly. And they had learned a lesson from past missteps. They had learned a lesson through COVID that what they want to do is act as a good fiduciary for those assets, make sure that, even if they're going to spend it all, say that they had 3 meetings to discuss it. So that they had a meeting to decide how they were going to spend it. If they're going to set up an endowment, do it in a way that maybe there's a trap door that they can get to those assets if they need it, but for the long term, they're going to create that endowment. So I think having that fiduciary awareness and then the capacity to support it with policies and procedures, the right volunteers and the right staff people to keep everyone in line. So ultimately, I think everyone, at least on those Mackenzie Scott donors, they were kind of thinking, we need to do this as well, just in case there's a round 2, and we want to show that we were good stewards of the money. So I like using that example because that was literally 400 conversations that myself and my counterparts had around the country, and that was some really good firsthand knowledge that we gleaned.